Did we get no intro today? I think, Tory, I think just what you're wearing is the intro, what you've got going on. Where are you?
Hold on. Oh, where are we live?
Yes, the
Oh,
intro
I
didn't
am
play.
in getting my hair done, like I told you guys. The
Okay.
bottom part was really dark, so we went to go ahead and take care of the bottom part before I go on my vacay. So if you
Okay.
guys see a beautiful woman in the back, that's Lindsay, Lindsay Miller. There she
Hey,
is, and
Lindsay.
she's great with blonde. So just wanted to let our group know.
Does she do black men's hair?
Does she do what?
Black men's hair.
Black? No.
No, actually, the salon I work in, we specialize in a lot of like braiding and lots of different things.
Yeah, Coco's here, Corinne from our studio.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
work with Coco.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, this is a very awkward way to meet you, but I'm happy that we met. Tory, I'm going to kick things off. Welcome everybody to the show. We appreciate you guys for being here. And also, let's appreciate Tory for her scheduling. Because I interesting. So we are officially started. Tori is officially getting rinsed. It's very relaxing. I think she has us on silence. That's a good thing.
No, I'm
What's up,
here.
colleagues? Happy early weekend. Tori, even though you're not in college anymore, do you still consider Thursday the unofficial start of the weekend?
I like Thursday better than Friday. I'm not gonna lie.
It's way better. Friday, there's too many drunks and there's too much pressure to have fun. Thursday, you kind of have to keep it under control so that you can go to work. Even though we went to the baseball game last night, we had a great time with you and your friend, significant other. I don't know. We should have talked about that before the show. You're a person we know, and I went with Sar, and we had a good time. And we went to the Chop House before, and I realized Sar had a martini there and like a strawberry fizz or something. And then I think she had 2 high noons at the game. And we got home and I looked at her, I was like, "Oh, you're feeling no pain, buddy." Yeah, were you feeling okay last night?
Yeah, I didn't drink my high noon at all, which was so stupid. I just had my martini.
Well, we had a great time with you. Shout out to Tori, shout out to her roots, and shout out to the Colorado Rockies that put it on the Los Angeles Dodgers last night. My buddy Jim Jeffries texted me and was like, who is this team? I was like, I've been trying to tell people. Well, Tori, usually we banter a lot longer in this period, but we have some good news. I want to tell everybody about it right now. So, Michael Dean, I don't know if we have that. Well, 2 things. Michael Dean, let's do the email first. We officially have our own email. So, yes, and hello, Christina. We have our own email. So, I know I asked you guys kind of haphazardly a couple weeks ago to email, so we have everybody's email. Please, right now, email this so we can start to consolidate and move together as a cohesive unit. Now, Tori, because I do not drink, colleagues, after the game last night, when my girlfriend fell asleep 0.6 seconds into Love is Blind, I got out of my bed and I created a place for us to all hang out. It was my old Patreon, and it's a website where if you guys want to go on there, support the show, there's different levels and tiers that you can join, but no matter what your level is that you can afford, if you can't afford anything, you can still hang out in there, talk. You guys can talk after the show, which is dope. There's a 24-hour chat, so just go in there and say what's up to people. You can see the different tiers. Obviously, we do this because we love it, and we would love any support that you could afford. And there's some really cool stuff that we're offering. I wish Tori could talk about the different levels, but we will do that.
There are
We'll get all
several
into it on
levels.
Monday.
There are several
Yes, thanks.
levels, and Al will talk about them. But one of them, we get to give gifts away, like Al's shoes and my cross stitch. So hit him up with that, Al.
Yes, definitely. I got a pair of shoes right here. Oh, I just made these. So, but these are getting
That's
ready to go to
awesome.
they're getting ready to go to Florida. Um, yeah. So check me out on Etsy at Shop Nico and Jolie. But yes, please go check out the Patreon website and up. I anybody that needs a pair shall get a pair. And Michael Dean, you can leave that Patreon up for a little while. You guys copy and paste it, go on there and get familiar. And I put a bunch of clips, a lot of stuff that some stuff you have seen, some stuff you haven't. There's a show, Tory, that I realized I'm such a like a weird workaholic. I did a show that I never put out and I never told anybody. It was called DBL Decoded. Did I tell you? Didn't you do one with me?
I don't think so.
DBL Decoded, what I did was I looked at a bunch of old clips that we had, and I just told people like what was going on before and after that and why people reacted like that. It's like behind the scenes. So the first episode of DBL Decoded is up there. I have 2 sets, one from my Washington, D.C. Show at the Improv, one from right here in Denver at Dude IDK. Some of my music. We'll have clips from Tory. Tory, what are you going to contribute in terms of content to the website?
Stuff like this, just general things like this. No, I'm also going to contribute some cocoa stuff. I met with
Oh,
a bird today. We had a bird of prey on. I interviewed Harlan Williams, the comedian, which was really
that's my
fun.
homie. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really great. He's performing at the Stanley Hotel. And also, I'm going to be doing some more Buddhist mantra stuff just to keep everyone in their mental health the best that they can, because I'm going through it. I know you guys are. So I'm going to be doing some mental health work and just very digestible, easy things to maybe help you out.
All right. Yes. Yeah. I saw Michael Dean said the top tier of support on the Patreon, Tory will make you a personal cross stitch. So I think that's super
That's
dope, as
right.
well as
That's right.
yes, yes. So I can't wait. I've never gotten a cross stitch, so maybe I need to join that level.
I'm making you one right now, actually, when I'm on vacay.
Tory, if anybody joins the CEO level, will you send them a picture of you doing any kind of athletics? Because listen up, Gabriel, we went to the game last night and she was like, I was a catcher. Now, granted, she texted her dad and her sister and they verified. But can we get some pictures? Thank you, Julia.
I will be home on the 29th, so I'll be able to send some pictures of me as a catcher.
Okay. All right. That looks so relaxing. I'll say this as a black man. I don't know why black barbershops, I think we have an issue with intimacy. If somebody washed my hair every day, I would be a totally different dude. I'd be relaxed. I'd be just walking around like, give Trump a chance. He'll turn it around. I would be in such a good mood every day.
It's a
That's just,
beautiful
yes.
place. The
Yes.
industry, everyone. The industry. If you're in Denver and you need blonde, Lindsay Miller.
All right. I like it. Lindsay Miller sounds like the first girl you have a crush on.
Totally.
When you're
In
telling
first grade.
she's like, yeah, and your wife's kind of jealous of her still. And it's like,
That's a good call.
Yeah, she's like, look her up on Facebook right now. Let me see her. Yeah. That's cool.
She's a
I love
cutie.
Yes. And I just think like what a skill, because it's like, watching Coco work for all those years and seeing her, her results, and then just like seeing like she's got her own place. I'm so proud of
Totally.
her and Lindsay. You guys are entrepreneurs. I love it.
And Lindsay sells houses, like real estate agent. So if you need to sell your house, I mean, she does everything.
And a freelance model.
And a what?
A freelance model.
And a freelance model. I mean, what else can you want?
I'm a freelance model, but no one's ever paid for me. They pay me. They pay me to go get your good looking friends. All right. Now, Tory, we're going to get right to this because we got a lot to talk about. And so does my Siri, who is going off for no reason. So let's do this, girl.
Where you can say whatever you need.
Okay. You sound like you're arguing with somebody at the bus stop that's not there. All right, I am in a good mood, Tory. First of all, I just got a text from Audi. My car has been in the shop for 2.5 weeks and it's ready. Yes. So finally, it has happened to me right in front of my face. But I'm going to jump in on the keep it moving. Keep It Moving, sponsored by our favorite and first sponsor, Vlad and them boys over at Sponsor. Give them a call, 303-544-4000. That's an old school number. Remember those numbers that be flashing on the screen? You're like, how'd you get that number? Anyway, I've talked about this a million times. Tory, you are actually going to be moving, and you're going to be using Spider. And as of today, with the text I was getting from Sarah, we are pulling this carpet up. So we're going to have to move all this freaking furniture, all of it. And so I'll be calling Vlad because I'm 900 years old and I can't do it. And I cannot. But yes, we're getting a hardwood floor. So that's a good thing. So Spider is, you know, I feel like we are sustaining them just with our business, but you guys, we wouldn't be pushing them if we didn't recommend them to the highest. If you have to move, just do it. They've helped me out. We've talked about it plenty. So Tory, I'm gonna get to my moving on because I've had this pent up for a while. It's got to come out. This to end the week, the people I need to keep it moving are the people on bikes. I am done, colleagues. I feel like they're bullies on the road. I feel like they're rude. And I ran into let me finish that sentence. I was going to a comedy show and it was a Friday night last Friday. And you know, like when a bunch of like young teen bicyclists are doing wheelies and stuff in the street, but there's like 47 of them. So they got power in numbers. And I'm already late for my gig, and they're just like like 4 of them are going down the street popping a wheelie at like -2 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And they bully the road, and it's just like, I don't know. I have a lot of beef. I know there's some bikers that are colleagues. I'm sure y'all look cool, but like I've had a rough time with bikers lately, and they literally, and also I'm scared I'm gonna hit one. I'm sorry. I am really scared.
Now
They're
we had
on
a
the
big
road.
we had first of all, shout out to bikers. It's good for your health and it's good for the environment, and I get it. But we had recently in DC, they were going to remove like 3 lanes of traffic, car traffic for bikers, and it's like there's 20,000 times more cars than bikers. So it's like, I get it. It's like we want to make room, we want to share the road, but the density of cars is so overwhelmingly more that it's hard. But also those bike lanes scare me too. Now, I would like to be a biker. I just don't have the balance or the stamina or the will.
There. Tory, I can't wait to see your hair. It looks like it's coming along well. Do you got anybody you need to tell to keep it moving before we get to our first story?
I just parking spots that are right next to the wall. You know what I'm saying? In a structure, and I can't get out, and my boobs are sort of, I can't, there's nowhere for me to go. So I'm shimmying like a spy. That's what I'm moving on from. I just need wider spots.
Maybe you should prep these before we get started. I love you so much. All right, girl, let's get started with the main story. All right, Tory, we're going to get to our main story, but can I tell you, I've gotten 2 phone calls today. I talked to my boy Jason, who you know, who I talked about a lot on DBL, probably more off air than on. And also I was talking to my other homie this morning, my boy Joey, who used to be a bartender at Faint and Goat, and he and I have been friends ever since. His wife she works in public health and writes grants. Just an awesome, they're the best couple. But I was talking to Joey this morning, and he said something that I was thinking this morning, and I grabbed the clips and forgot to send them to Michael Dean. Tory, Trump looks bad. He looks, this is not political. Everybody knows I'm not a fan. Okay, I'm talking about as somebody that has looked at human beings and seen You know what I told Joey today? I told him, I was like, have you ever gone to visit a family member and then you just go back like 3 weeks later and they've gone downhill? And it's like a year passed? Like he was in front of, I think it was the Swedish prime minister, and couldn't find him. And just like, where? And he's like, I'm right in front of you, sir. And he goes, oh, there you are. Like he's not the sharp tongued Trump that used to be. He seems confused, and he just doesn't look good.
He was also recently diagnosed with a vein issue, and there's been some close-ups of his hands that are being covered
I
in
saw that.
makeup. And so Look, people age, and he's what I believe 80, or at least getting to be 80, and he doesn't eat well. He eats McDonald's. Says that he doesn't sleep. He sleeps about 4 hours a night. He drinks Diet Coke constantly. He doesn't exercise like some of these others. So I think you're seeing, I agree, Julia, some stress from all that. And also being president during this is, remember, Obama went super gray.
Yes.
Presidents deal with a lot of stress, and right now he's dealing with not great favorable numbers, and a midterm coming up that's looming in his face, and an Epstein problem that won't go away. That's going to add some aging to you. But again, he's just kind of a little bit older. So,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's just like he seems. Oh, the other clip that I was going to send, I actually remember it. There's a representative from Ukraine, and she's like, "Will you did you see that?" She was like, colleagues, you have to see this clip." She was like, "I'll send it to Michael Dean. I'll have him put the link up." But she goes, "Mr. President, you have to ensure us that you will make sure that Putin will return our children, because the Russians are kidnapping Ukrainian children and doing God knows what to them." And Trump goes, he goes, "What? Well, that is tough. We had a tough year, and then we pulled off the largest trade deal." He goes into this weird trade deal thing, and then he ends it by looking at her and goes, "Thank you. Congratulations." It was like, Tory. Yes, Jack.
yeah, I mean,
The congratulations clip. And I was like, because now I'm looking at these clips like, is this edited? Because I don't want to
no,
get
he
duped.
has some cognitive issues going on. And if we brought it up for Biden, you have to bring it up for Trump. Again, they were similar in age. And I always remember the man, camera, woman, TV. Remember that when he did the
Yeah.
test and he was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this is a valid thing to bring up. And especially if he wants to continue his term, which is, of course, unconstitutional. But it's important to bring up that we're not getting maybe the best of the best.
Well, something else is almost up, Tory. Eric Menendez's time in prison might be up. A little parole, a little Shawshank Redemption, if you will. So he's been in jail for 30 years. That's like a football jersey number. That's a long time, bro. Uh, he's asking for a second chance at freedom. Tory, do you think he deserves it? And colleagues, I want to hear from y'all, and especially any colleague that doesn't think that he does. And Tory, do you think he'll get it?
I want to be very clear. I think he absolutely deserves to have a different trial or extenuating circumstances that weren't brought into that trial. So I absolutely think he should be paroled, in my opinion. Now, that's controversial. I know he did a terrible thing, but the documentary that brought out how horribly he was treated, how sexually abused he was treated, that none of that was brought up in the trial, not a single part of that. That means that that trial is sort of unfair, and he needs to have better representation, and he needs to be able to at least have a separate trial. If not, I think he has served his time, especially after what we learned as a motive.
Yeah.
And so it makes me question myself when I say this, because they were brutally murdered. But I also think as children, they were allegedly sodomized and done horrific things by family members. And I think that that never being brought up was an unfair trial. I really think it was just an unjust trial. I
Well,
really
and
do.
Tory, to your point, that you were like, it wasn't brought up in trial. It was brought up in the first trial, which was a mistrial, which means that there was a hung jury, which means that there were jurors that understood what they did. And because they're coming off of the ass kicking they got with the OJ, him getting off, they cannot allow this media spun narrative that now rich kids and entitled kids can kill their parents if they're mad about bedtime. So they retried them and did not allow that crucial information. So I'm just saying that this is one of those rare situations where we do have an actual test case, what the jury said when they were able to hear it, and what they said when they weren't allowed to hear it. So all right, so I know you're going on mute, but yeah, let me
No,
look
I'm
at
here. I'm
some of
here.
these. Oh, okay, let's see, what do people think? Do you guys, does any colleague think that they deserve to stay in there for life. 30 years. And I don't think it's up for much debate at this point, y'all. Their father seemed like he was a horrific person.
Yeah, and
Horrific.
just if you're just
He's
talking
in 2 documentaries, Tory.
yeah,
2
yeah,
separate think about what you have to do in your life to be in one documentary
I
about
know.
alleged sexual assault. He's in 2 separate ones that don't even involve the same people.
That's right. And I just think if you had not put, just speaking legally, that's if that wasn't brought in, then he's unjustly sentenced. You know what I mean? He's unjustly sentenced.
Yeah. It's I'm very curious to see where this goes. And Julia says she has mixed feelings. Julia, what are your mixed feelings? Is it just that um like just the horrific nature of their crime? Because that's a very fair feeling to have.
Yeah, I have
I
mixed
mean,
feelings. I feel bad saying what I'm saying, but I genuinely think that they didn't just get, I just don't think they had a fair trial.
right. I mean, you know, I think it's also one of those things where we'll never know the full extent. I think we've kind of all accepted it, that we'll never know the extent of the Epstein thing. How many young girls, how many of those girls have since gone on to unalive themselves? We'll never know the full scope. I think we know just this much, and this much is disgusting.
Yeah, I agree.
Anytime we see just the tip of the iceberg, whether it's the gymnastics or, we saw that at the Penn State with the defensive coordinator there. What was his name? That was like 10, 12 years ago. I forgot, but he's been in jail. But it's like he had
Is
been
that
running that camp.
the
Michael
one
Dean, will
with
you find?
Jim Jordan covered up?
No, that's Ohio State. That's
Oh, right,
another
right.
Big Ten school. What the hell?
I know.
What in the hell? So it's just like all of these things, we see the end result. Sometimes it's a person unaliving themselves, sometimes it's the person unaliving their parents. But yes, Jerry Sandusky, thank you, Sue. Jerry Sandusky, and he had been running that camp for decades,
Yeah,
for like years.
yeah.
And so Shelly signed up for Patreon. There we go. Yay! Is she our first? Yes. I don't know if I want anybody else to sign up if there's going to be more of that dancing. That'll do it. So
Anyone who signs up gets a different dance.
yeah, it's there you go. It's it's and just me's talking about the domestic violence and the burning bed. Look, just me, I look at it like this. If you and I were just like having coffee in a Starbucks and Tory bursts in the door and yells 3 expletives and starts wailing on me, would you just, Shelly, it doesn't matter what tier, girl, you in there, you family. Would you just say that, thank you, Michael Dean, for Jerry Sandusky.
Oh, nice.
Would you just say that like Tory is a crazy person that just decided to drive to a Starbucks and attack a man that was quietly having a conversation and drinking? Or would you say Al probably did some shit?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Al, in the trial, they really brought them up as only spoiled brats who were playing tennis, who wanted the money, and they really misrepresented their client. I mean, if anything, that's malpractice. That's a problem with their lawyers and ineffective counsel. All these things that really led them to be locked up in a way that was unfair. So I know I have mixed feelings too, but I think he should be let free. I think he has served his time and done remarkable work in terms of the stuff he's done in jail. So
Right.
I just think
Right.
that. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care.
Is she on a bike? Yes. I hear a lot of people saying, I have mixed feelings. That's because you're smart and you go back and forth in your head. The luxury that single-minded people have where they just know they're right and they're like, this is what's up. Everything is a back and forth because we don't want a society in which people are carrying out vigilante justice. But at the same time, whether it's domestic violence, and which sometimes ends up with, and they have laws in certain states where like if a battered woman defends herself, like she's going to get in trouble, but it happens so often they had to make a rule. If that doesn't say something about us. So yeah, it's not a black and white situation. But yeah, Tory, let's keep it moving to the next story. Let's go. All right, Tory. Guess what? There's a 750 HHS workers that are upset with RFK Jr. A lot of federal employees are saying that old RFK Jr. His vaccine lies are putting their lives in danger after the CDC shooting, which I thought got no coverage. It's so interesting. I always, you know me, I'm such a weirdo. I went on TMZ and every single day TMZ had a Diddy trial recap. Remember when that kid of a cop who was a Trump supporter went to Florida State like 4 months ago and shot up a bunch of people? Do you remember that? It was recently.
I don't even remember that.
And that's my point. Like certain things you don't hear anything about. And I this whole thing I was like, this guy had a purpose for, he wasn't just some crazy guy that happened to walk into a building that happened to be the CDC. When you tell people over and over again that this building is making poisons that's coming out and you have somebody that's mentally unstable, how long till this happens, Tory? Which we saw this with Nancy Pelosi's husband. We just saw this with Minnesota lawmakers. So like, how do we, like, what is the punishment for this? Because it's like if I had your house swatted, and swatted colleagues is if I call the cops, Gamer started it, you call the cops and you say Tory Shulman has explosives in our home, and like all the cops the SWAT team shows up, and people have been killed because of that too. Why do we never put these things together? Like Nancy Pelosi's husband got beaten by a crazy man with a hammer. This other guy in Minnesota, he had a plan. His family allegedly looked like they clearly knew he was trying to finish something. These people are not really covert about their issues. And the thing is, it's coming from the top. They're not getting this from some weird 4chan website. So do you think we could ever see a situation now that it's shown that we can't depend on decorum to have some kind of guidelines for what people can say in the public, because their words hold so much sway with the populace, and some of that populace is mentally unstable and armed?
I think it's hard to restrict freedom of speech. I think that's a really difficult thing. There should be a discourse of voices, and some are going to be voices that we don't like. But I think when it turns to violence, there is one clause in the sort of Supreme Court that says if you're causing clear and present danger with your words, which means a person will go and take that and do something dangerous, then it is not protected. So I think that's the only way to get around that. But this country is based, their very First Amendment, and something I hold dear is speech that I don't like, I still have to protect. So it's hard for me to say that they could get in trouble for speaking. That's a difficult one for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's weird because I was charged with that clear and present danger, but it was because of my looks. I looked so good that women were swerving their cars, and I'm like, it's my constitutional right to look like this. All right, buddy? So
Hey, Fashion Jackson, baby. Fashion
there we
Jackson.
go. All right. Tory, let's get into this. And it's weird, but it's sad because it ties into our first story, but let's keep it going. All right. I appreciate this angle we're getting from Tory. This is like a hot like a hidden camera when somebody gets a congressman on tape propositioning a 22-year-old intern. I'll take you to a steakhouse. What do you want, baby? Yeah, so let's give the story the importance it deserves. Teen gymnast exposes abusive coach. 18-year-old Finley Weldon speaks out, helping to launch an FBI inquiry into a coach accused of targeting kids. Here's another word, for decades, Tory.
And
That
just so you know, you don't have to have your name displayed, but Finley wanted her name displayed so she could help others. The thing that really scares me and bothers me is that this coach took away all these girls' chance to do gymnastics. They stopped. And it's just like, I don't know, the robbing of a dream and then the robbing of your innocence at the same time is just a double excruciating whammy.
it is. And I'm gonna ask something that is going to sound like I'm just trying to troll or be inflammatory, but at a certain point, we do have to ask, what is the real purpose for some of these things to exist? We look at the beauty pageants that seem to be a pipeline uh, for young women, especially from overseas, to be sent to other countries, have their passports taken, and then have done to them whatever the people that paid for them plan to do with them. We have seen now countless stories throughout our adult life now, Tori. This isn't a story. This is an ongoing thing where our U.S. gymnasts are repeatedly attacked by this wormy man. They're saying, hey, this guy's doing this. Everybody, you know what, Tori? I'm going to make this personal and then um, we'll get back to this. But, you know, when I saw you around the person that you're dating, without knowing anything, without you saying anything, without him saying anything, I was like, what's going on over there? Because adults are perceptive. You know, in your office who drinks too much, who's cheating on their wife, who's a gambling addict and is broke. You know everything because human beings interact. This isn't just like one guy that was doing stuff on the low. This guy was able to get away with it for 20 years. He's not even like a man of privilege. Not saying that that matters, but it does in terms of like our legal system, sadly. That means that those systems are there because of this guy, for this guy. Because of the people, if like, let's say, for example, I worked, I was in charge of getting food and beverage backstage to J-Lo on her concert tour. That was my job. If J-Lo goes, hey, that dude keeps coming in the glass, he makes me uncomfortable. How long before I was fired? I would be off the property before she finished that sentence. But yet, hundreds of gold medal winning women, young women that represent this country on the biggest stage every 4 years are saying this trainer, and they're just acting like he's untouchable. And that guy who just fell face forward out of a double wide trailer, no shade if you live in a trailer, but like he does not look well kempt. He does not look like he's currently doing gymnastics. What the F is he doing there?
Yeah, he looks. I would never let my child ever be left in a compromising position with very little clothes on next to that man. Now, it makes, again, Finley brought up the fact that none of the girls she's worked with are still doing gymnastics, and that makes her proud. But that makes me like really sad because it's like, I don't know. I just
And
feel like,
that's my question though, Tortor. And please, I want to hear you answer it
no, no,
because
no,
I want you to make me feel better.
I can't.
Doesn't it? Okay, if this guy ran off all the gymnastics people, young women, some of them that could have been future Olympians, why was it weighted so heavily towards him? If this was really about gymnastics, just like the J-Lo tour is really about J-Lo. So anything that's making her uncomfortable is gone.
Yeah.
On the Beyonce tour, anything she don't like vanishes like Thanos.
Well, that's because the people least listened to are girls, young women. They are the least
But the
interested.
girls are the product in this case.
It doesn't matter. They're treated like cattle and they're treated like it doesn't matter. They are there to make the corporations and the advertisements, and they are the least likely to be listened to. And that's why young girls don't often speak up. And that's why Finley's like, I want my name out there. Like, bravo to Finley Weldon for speaking up and getting her name out there, because maybe this will happen to another young girl and she'll have the courage that this young woman did. I mean, it's heartbreaking what happened, but I'm so amazed by her courage to step up. I mean, that
Yeah,
takes an enormous amount of
it does. But
bravery.
Tori, you know what I was thinking about when we started this story? Because, you know, sadly, we've covered so many of them. I can compare and contrast. Cool. You know, I think we're starting to see that the victims now know that the police will not help. And the way to go around the police,
Totally agree.
because
Totally agree.
let me read the first sentence to you again. 18-year-old Finley Weldon speaks out, helping to launch. So there wasn't an investigation going on. You're waiting on this 18-year-old to kickstart that? Would you wait for an 18-year-old to organize Thanksgiving dinner? Why would you ask an 18-year-old that is a super talented gymnast to also help the FBI out? I mean, it's crazy. And it just like I said, you know me, Judge Judy, if something don't make sense, it's not true. And I think
I agree. And I think parents,
this modeling, I just think it's all the same thing.
I wonder also if parents now don't want to send their children to gymnastics because of the multiple accounts and patterns that we're seeing with coaches and the lack of the police doing anything about it. I mean, it's taking the girls themselves to do this. So it's exactly, Lucy, it's exactly why they don't speak out, because no one's listening. And we've seen it again and again and again. So why would you speak out? Why would you ruin that? So
Right. Yeah, I mean, you think about, and I'll say to move on. You think about the coverage that Gabby Petito got, and she should have been. She was a missing person. She's a person that deserves to be looked for and found in her family. But that was one young woman. There's been 50 documentaries about her. I don't know how many podcasts, how many hours of podcasts have been spent on her. Television hours spent on her. And if you made a pie chart for Gabby Petito and all the gymnasts, all the wrestlers, all the kids at Penn State, like, how does that even happen, bro? I think there's something bigger here. And I think I think these institutions such as like beauty pageants and all that, the internet and people being able to speak out is going to eventually be the end of them, because I think they serve a much different purpose than just having people walk down the catwalk
and
and sing, you
I
know.
agree. I agree with you, but I just want to bring up, I think it was just me. I agree with you. I think there should be a sexual assault czar in the cabinet or somewhere in government for the next nominee or whoever the candidate is. That's not a bad idea, that there's someone overlooking. I know they have boards, but we have seen these boards ignore and ignore and ignore. And these are centers of safe space, and they're not. They don't launch investigations for years. So something like someone in the federal government at the top level overseeing these Big Ten institutions, many of which are public schools. I mean, University of Michigan is public, Michigan
Right.
State. I mean, these, it is an interesting take on that. I think that's smart.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep it moving. Let's do this, Tory. I guess this would fall under this category. All right, we're talking about the White House patio. Looking, Michael Dean's got a picture for us. Tory, when you look at that, what do you think about?
I
Besides, like,
think
how many people are you expecting?
Oh, it's so much rain. No, I have to say that it just makes me think of Jackie Kennedy, because this is her rose garden that was literally bulldozed and then covered with cement to put that up. And what that means to me is, A, you don't have a sense of history, and you also have zero taste. This does not look better than Jacqueline Kennedy's rose garden. It never will. This is a prominent part of the White House. It's on the South Lawn, and it is just bad taste. Remember when Melania put up those weird Christmas trees
Yes.
that looked like, I don't know, like needles?
Yeah, I just don't know why the
Why?
White House now just has patio seating like it's a Maggiano's in the summertime. It looks like
Everyone's laughing.
it just looks like a place where like boring people have horrible conversations. And
with
I just
with crappy lunches. Totally.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like flavorless, swagless
It's
people
bad
there.
taste. It's bad taste. And when you bring bad taste into a White House that was beautifully crafted by someone with impeccable taste like Jackie Kennedy, you're going to screw it up big time, including the Kennedy Center. That started with Jackie and John F. Kennedy for the arts. They're screwing that up.
Yes, Jags, it is 80s tacky. Tori, I did want to ask, are you going to watch the UFC fight that's going to be at the White House?
Is there one?
There's going to be, yes.
No, that's horrendous.
Isn't this crazy? Isn't this like crazy?
Yeah, and the ballroom they're having is like something out of the Versailles, like something out of like 14th century or a Russian oligarchy look. It's a huge ballroom, enormous ballroom that I don't know if we need, but they're canceling all tours, which are some of the best parts of DC, a White House tour. All tours are put on hiatus now. They're no longer allowed to go in because of this ballroom construction.
All right, Tory. Well, speaking of going in, Gavin Newsom's going in on Trump with these memes. Tory, I'm going to cede the floor to you because I know you've been loving this meme war and also the woman behind it.
Thank you so much. So, if anyone knows, these are some of the trolling pictures that Gavin Newsom's new social media has put out. What he's doing is reflecting a mirror on Trump and just doing stuff that Trump does as like a troll. And his tweets are long with all uppercase. This is him saying, I want to be on Mount Rushmore because Trump famously floated that idea of himself. And it's like fighting the stupid with stupid. Finally, this is wow. Fox News can't stop talking about me, Gavin Newsom, America's favorite governor. And Fox News is going crazy saying how silly these are. But what they are is a reflection of what we're getting from our own president. So it's so well done. And it's making it go viral.
Daddy.
Yeah, and that's Gavin Newsom put together a series of clips of Jesse Waters calling Trump daddy.
So yeah, so what's so interesting, you'd think I thought they hired comics, Al. I thought finally a governor had gotten it right, and instead of just being whatever, was fighting back and getting to the president. But no, he actually hired this woman. Her name is Camille Zapata. She is a 30-year-old Latina, and she's in charge of a 3-person only team. She writes every tweet. She posts all the time. The woman's hysterical, and she is finally the youth that I've always said needs to be represented in Congress and Washington. They get it. They know how to fight in a Twitter fight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It feels like someone's figured it out. And so more of these people, please, because the tweets are hysterical. They're getting to Trump. They're getting to Fox News, and it's revealing how dumb everything he says is. So bravo. It's so entertaining.
It's really a great, and Michael Dean, can you make that, it says White House, we don't think about Gavin Newsom. I can't read the rest of that. What is the rest of it? Oh, also the White House sends political real news meme about Gavin Newsom triggered, weak, sad. He actually, it's weird, Tory, whether it's the young woman that writes for him or Gavin Newsom, I know it's one and the same. We've all been exposed to this man's weird brain for so long. Like sometimes when I'm listening to him talk, like he's got those verbal tics that he has, that he's like, it's probably going to be the biggest building anybody's ever seen ever, probably
the biggest crowd size.
Yeah, he's got these little like ticks and hedges, and some people are saying it's the greatest. A lot of people are saying it's the greatest. I'm not. A lot of people ask them. He just talks in such a strange way, and I think it probably put a lot of political opponents on their back foot because they're used to arguing policy with Chuck Schumer. That's like, I've got a paper here, and now,
right?
You know what? It's interesting because I saw that picture that you brought in for us, and how young and how badass she looked. And you know what it made me think about is like, you remember like with the Terminator, the first one was like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he was strong, but he was like he had the agility of like a sunglass rack at a gas station. Like he couldn't move, and then the second one, was like liquid. And I feel like the Republicans were the first one to get to the next level of Terminator. And the Democrats, like Hakeem Jeffries and all these guys, are like, sir, I'd like a moment with you. I say, good day. And it's like, everybody's like, would you shut the F up, you puss?
Or even like Joe Biden being like, the malarkey tour. That's not going to work.
Did I tell you when Elijah was little, he asked me if malarkey was a bad word? Because he was like, what does that word mean? That word means we're going to lose. Yeah, so embarrassing. And it's like, now you get a 23-year-old that's like, dude, we could do this. Because she grew up, she does not know a world without memes.
Like, she's of the Twitter generation, and that's what you need in Congress. You need it. Gavin is winning the meme war, which is both very cool and kind of sad that it matters. But when you are affecting the president on his ego, which we know is his biggest Achilles heel, then go after it. Fight,
Yeah.
fight, fight.
Get it. Yeah. And I mean, before we move on, I'll just say this. It's very interesting that, and I don't know if this was intended, but it's a perfect way to go at Trump, because when his people, his Fox News people, speak up for him, they can't say that what Gavin Newsom is doing is dumb, because their guy does it. So
Yeah,
they're
it's a
putting a
win-win.
great way
It's
to
a
defend
total
it.
win-win.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
You,
and
you,
I suggest other governors start doing this over and over and over again, because he's the only one getting it. He is the only one.
well, let's vet the governors, because I'm sure there's someone that's like, I've got a good one. Take your hat and go home, Mr. Trump. Send. He like types send and never sends it. All right, let's do this. I'm glad we're talking about this, because I actually showed a picture of this to Sarsar the other day. Serena dropped 31 pounds on Zepbound, which I remember talking to Dr. Coley on the panel about, which he said is actually like kind of the evolution of Ozempic. And Tory, I've seen this a lot with pro athletes, especially like larger pro athletes, people who play linebacker, and then you see them in an interview and they literally are down 100, 150 because that weight, that muscle is not practical for the real world. You have to be burning 4,000 calories a day to like maintain that. So you got to lose weight when you're kind of at the end of your career, which she is. Nice career, Serena. You did okay. Wow. What an athlete and what an icon. Tory, what do you think about this weight loss?
I think it's awesome that Serena's speaking up, because a lot of women look up to her. I think she's being transparent, which I've always said, if you're in 2025, you've got to be, as a brand, really transparent and relatable, or else you're not in the current zeitgeist, which is all about transparency. I call it the transparent 20s. You know what I mean? And so I think it's great for her. It's great for Zepbound. I wonder if she has a piece of the action now. What do you think?
I mean, if they were smart, remember when all this was going down, and was it Ozempic when got Oprah after she was with Weight Watchers? Or yeah, it's just like you want to associate. It's a product that you want to sell. So what do? You find somebody that embodies the type of person that identifies with them and will probably use their product. And it's a lot of people that have been following Serena, because Serena's been body shamed her entire career. Even, I don't know why. Fan over here. But I think it would have been really smart for them, and they got that Zepbound money, so I'm sure that picture. I'm sure they paid a pretty penny, and it's worth every penny, because we're talking about it right now, and a lot of women that would maybe probably look at a white suburban mom that's playing tennis that used it and been like, oh, she looks good, but me and her world couldn't be any different. And then they see Serena's from Compton, and she's on it. So I could see and it says she's working with Oro, that telehealth platform that prescribes Zepbound over the phone as a way to normalize GLP-1. Like, isn't this crazy? That not only can you get seen over the phone, somebody you never meet will send you a needle in the mail.
I'm thinking of doing it. I did it once, you guys, and I did a compound at a pharmacy that wasn't like at a doctor's office. It was a doctor's office, but it wasn't the real stuff. It was like compounded. And I got so sick, so sick. And I didn't
Really?
do it again. But I'm telling you, Serena Williams, I'm like, now that's someone that's like not terribly overweight, but has a few pounds to lose. Like, I could lose 10 pounds and I'm having trouble doing that. And this could be very helpful to me. So she kind of got me, just to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, and the fact that you are willing to do it again, even though you got sick, shows you that it's a product that works. And people are willing to take what is it saying, Neon at Angel Aesthetics? Pain
It
is
hurts to
beauty.
be pretty.
Oh, I thought it was pain is beauty. I think you just made that up. I
Her
think you did.
neon sign says it hurts to be pretty.
Maybe you're right. Okay, let's not talk about that then. All right, Tory, let's get to I want to get to this. It'll be fun. All right. I guess it's kind of romance.
Two be new. Feels like heaven in the afternoon.
All right. Tortor, we're talking about your best friend, Katy Perry, KP in the building. She's and obviously she's talking about the Orlando Bloom split. She said she's not dating after Bloom, even after that viral Justin Trudeau dinner. So was that a date we looked at, Tori? I don't think they were talking policy, but what do
I
I know?
mean, it might not have worked out, so she just was trying to make the best of it. Maybe she it was a true don't, not a true dough. So sorry.
Okay.
So sorry.
I
So
mean, what
sorry.
advice would you give to somebody that just got out of a breakup? Because, some people are like, I think you could talk to some people and they'd be like, get back on the horse, girl. And some people would be like, you take a month for every year that you were together and you don't date. Like, I don't know if there is any hard or fast rule, or what do you go by, or what do you suggest to other people?
My therapist, who I'm listening to a lot, and some codependent meetings that I'm going to because I'm dealing with that myself, say that it's kind of arbitrary when you go back, but you want to be doing it consciously. You want to be doing it with intention. So maybe if you're going to go back into dating, you date once a week, twice a week, maybe that's it. You don't call for hours on end. You don't text for hours. You casually get back into a routine if that feels safe to you. Some people need a year, like an eat, pray, love situation. Some people don't. I don't think there's a hard rule, but I do believe in intentional dating. And especially if you're someone like me who's a codependent, you want to be really thoughtful about how much you go into a new relationship or don't. So those are things that I'm thinking about. And I think that that's a really good piece of advice.
All right. Well said. I mean, that it's just hard because, when you're leaving a relationship, you're in this weird position where you're figuring out who you are now. If you had anything to do with the breakup, which almost always you do, you're half of it. Maybe not 50-50, but there's always equal sides. But then at the same time, I'm like, what if like there's somebody really great right in front of you? Do you still take this rule and apply it arbitrarily because like you heard it somewhere, or do you go for it?
Right,
So
right. And you don't want to miss out, but you also don't want to be jumping back into a pattern. You always date the bad boys. You always date avoidance. You always date certain people that don't have money or whatever it is. You just want to be thoughtful about not jumping into the same pattern.
right. And it's like that's a great point by Tori. And it's hard, it's easier said than done because colleagues tell me I'm lying. Like that's all we are, especially the older you get, is a pattern. I mean, there's like everybody kind of has their, whether you even know it or not, you kind of recognize your pattern. Have you ever been like going somewhere in the morning and you've seen the same person walking their dog maybe like 3 times in the month? And you're like, oh, they leave the house around the same time I do. We're not as random as we think. Usually when police are teaching women to protect themselves against stalkers or potential stalkers, they'll tell them to switch up their pattern because we all like drive the same way home from the grocery store. I usually hit the same 3 grocery stores depending on if I want meat, pasta, or veggies. Like I know where I'm going. And so like we're not these dynamic creatures where it's like today I'm going to Arizona for dinner. Like you're not. You're going to the same 5 places. So it's hard not to do that in your relationships as well because you go back to what you know. So I think that was well said, girl. Tori, let's get to this really quickly. I thought this was interesting. I Let's do the DoorDash one just so I can play it. Yeah. All right. That's almost like a palate cleanser, which is a good thing. All right, Tori. There was a DoorDash chicken wing meltdown, as you do. A woman allegedly caused 10 grand in damage to her driver's car door after a failed chicken wing delivery. Yeah. That is yeah, Tori, you might want to mute that or turn your camera off. That's good. Yes, Tori's getting blown dry, so I'll take this one. Colleagues, I'm gonna go on a limb, y'all, and say that this has nothing to do with chicken wings.
I
All
agree
right.
with you. I agree.
Yeah. This is kind of the risk that you run as somebody that drives for Uber or anything like this, or you see these videos, and a lot of times, especially when people get in the car drunk and they're just mad because their life is sucking at that time, who are they going to take it out on? Probably not their spouse if they have one, definitely not their boss, definitely not their 3 friends they keep around, but guess who they can go after? The person dropping off their wings. And I think this is why you see a lot of fights. Do you remember, Tory? You could just nod. We did the story. It was over the pandemic. Maybe the restrictions had just lifted, but there was that banker that went into that Jamba Juice and he was throwing those things at that, and he lost his job and everything over that, as he
Yes,
should. They
yes,
were
I
like 2
do.
15-year-old Hispanic girls that were like working in the afternoon,
Yes, I
and
do remember that.
yeah, but like that, I feel like that comes from the same birth.
I think the pandemic caused there was a lot of, how do you say, pent up anger. And we saw way more car road rage incidences during COVID because we were all pent up like this. I wonder if this is carried over. I also
Remember
know
all the
some people.
fights we would see on planes?
Yeah, exactly. Now, I also know this could be just a jerk, but I do wonder if that has carried on to some of these rage filled, if we just never gotten over that trauma. But I just remember that was a big deal.
Yeah. And it's just like people are cowards and they go after somebody that can't defend themselves. And when your driver's dropping off the pizza, you can say thank you, or you can say, took you long enough, dick. Because what are they gonna do? And you get a chance to feel a little bit better about yourself. And it's really terrible that people that venture out to get you a pizza at 1 a.m, they become the focus of your ire. Do better, everybody. All right, Tori, let's start to bring it home, but let's talk about this real quick.
Okay, perfect.
Not really a main story. I love your hair.
What do you think? Didn't she do a great
Jesus.
job?
She's done?
Yeah.
That looks great.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Holy shit. Hold on.
I'm gonna just be in the sun and then I'm gonna come back and pay.
Sure you are.
I know.
I can't believe she fell for it.
Guys, I'm gonna leave now.
Yes. Yeah. No black man has ever tried that. I'll be right back. Trust me. Tori, your hair looks fantastic. I love that look on you.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Is that
There's
a
some
little
bangs.
Farrah Fawcett-y? Like, what is that?
It's supposed to be like the new Rachel, but with some curtain
Yes,
bangs.
that's what I was trying to say. Yes.
I don't know. We toned down the blonde. I felt the blonde going to fall. I could just tone it down to like a natural honey beige.
Tori, I absolutely love. I can't believe she's done that quick. That was
Yeah,
great.
she's great. She's great. I wish my hair would do this, but I got a cowlick. Y'all know
Stop
about
doing that. Leave it
Okay.
alone.
Okay, sorry.
No, stop touching it.
Okay,
Stop
sorry.
it. You look great.
Thank you.
Yes, that was well worth it. Yeah, and you did
Thank
good
you.
with the muting and everything with the blow dryer right up until the end.
Thank you so much.
Oh yes, very cool. Really quickly, Tori, did you want to talk about this story? Netflix Astrology Hub. Your zodiac sign now gets its own curated Netflix watch list. Will you watch according to your sign, which is what?
I'm a Capricorn, which means I'm supposed to be my work is my identity, which I kind of agree with. And also, that I'm very like reliable, independent, and trustworthy. And I don't cause drama. That's not 100% accurate.
But that whether it's true about you, it makes for a terrible watch list.
I know.
Yeah.
It's going to be boring. Mine's going to be super boring. I want like a Pisces or like a Leo or Scorpio.
Just a show about a guy that shows up on time and puts his work in and leaves and goes back to his family.
I bet it'll be shows like, it would have been like Severance, you know what I mean? Or The Industry, like stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the industry kind of lost me. I want to go back to it, but it's like it's one of those shows that takes 2.5 years in between seasons. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore.
I know. The acting's superb though. Superb.
It is. Last time I looked, the young black girl, she's like an intern. Now she runs the place. I'm like, what the F happened?
I know.
No.
She's amazing.
Yes. Girl boss power. All right, Tori, do you have a fun fact for us?
I do. Are you guys ready for this?
Hold on. Let me.
Are we good? I couldn't hear
Yeah.
it. Is that good? Okay. So, did you know that Cleopatra, the one we all know from Egypt, was born closer in time to the opening of the first Pizza Hut than the building of the Great Pyramids?
That's insane.
Isn't that crazy? So the pyramids were about 2500 BC. She was born in about 50 BC, and the first Pizza Hut was like 1952. I'm sort of not 100% on those dates, but she is closer in time to the opening of the Pizza Hut than the building of the Great Pyramids. That's how far back they went.
Well, on Monday, I'm going to regale the colleagues but with a story about how my friend James got caught stealing from the pizza buffet the last day before we had gone. I didn't do it because I was so scared of my dad, but they used to have a buffet and it was lunchtime and there was a bunch of local businesses. So they just put pizzas out and they trusted you to pay. And the last day of summer before school started, we did it like we always did. Went in there. I paid. He didn't. We're walking out of this Pizza Hut, and I just see this long white arm come out of a. I didn't see it just like yanked my friend back in. It's like we had to wait for his dad. It was so embarrassing. And he
You
was
had to
like,
wait for the dad? Oh my
I was like,
God.
would you just cop to it? What do you give a fake name? Stop it. So he was the guy, though. I didn't know what the word meant, but like he was a real life klepto.
Oh yeah, he had to steal.
He had to, like, we would go to CVS and he would like ask us what we didn't think he could steal.
Oh wow.
He would
Okay.
steal like frozen pizzas and like he went for like the high degree of difficulty.
Wow.
It was just
That's
it was like a
sad.
thrill to him. Strange
Wow.
people are strange. But
Yeah.
yes, Tori, your hair looks great. Enjoy your weekend. I had a great week with you. Had fun with you at the game yesterday.
Thank you.
Colleagues, you guys came through all week. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget, hit that email so we can all start to coordinate and we can move together because I'm really loving what we got going on. So with that said, Tori, I love you. Colleagues,
you too.
love y'all. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see y'all soon.